Hi there, my name is Stacy. I used Rita services to help set up my Google business account. I was having some trouble getting it to verify my business and the address and everything and could not for the life of me make it work. So I contacted her to help and she helped me troubleshoot and was able to get it set up for me to where I could start my Google business and made it really easy. And I appreciated her help and think she would be great for any other marketing things as well. I've attended a couple marketing conferences from her, and she helped me learn how to better take photos of what I'm trying to capture for my social media posts and things like that with my travel business. Thanks, Rita.
Hello, travel biz owner. Welcome to my corner of the travel industry, the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur Podcast. If you're ready to have fun, be inspired, get clarity, and take action in your travel business, then you're in the right place. Let's jump in. Hi everyone, Rita here. You're probably like, what is she doing? I was thinking about today's episode and like looking over my notes for today's episode, and I was like, this sounds kind of like Blue's Clues, like what we're gonna be like talking about and going over your summer checklist, things that you should be doing during the summer months. I'm like, it's like we're looking for clues on what to do, and hopefully I'm sharing and uncovering them for you here on today's episode. We are just gonna start right in. We're gonna get into it, but I also wanted to share. Stick with me towards the end because I'm gonna give you some details about the summer selling series. And so, summertime. I don't know about you, but summertime is notoriously a slower time in the year. It can be busier, slower, depending on what you're looking like. You may not be accepting that many new inquiries during the summer because lots of your people are traveling. And so a lot of the hard work that you have done to kind of like make this all come together, you finally can go ahead, give yourself a pat on the back because you did it. It is coming together and it is coming to life. So congrats on getting that done, and congrats like for putting that all out there. You really worked hard, probably first quarter, second quarter. And so hopefully you are also, if you're not traveling, can relish in just like the victory a little bit. And I know some of you may also be on standby for all those trips that you do have going out this summer. So while summer tends to be like a slower time, and it's not just because busy season is technically not over per se, but it's probably slowed down again for a lot of different reasons. People are going on those trips. School is ending or has ended. So many of you who are parents may have kids now at home. And so you're having, if they're not going to summer camps, you're having to plan summer camp at home and all that to keep them occupied and to keep them going and enriched while school is out. Those are like the big kind of things that I see happening. And then also, of course, just families getting together because it is like this off season that we have in the middle of the year. And I guess depending where you're at, you're either celebrating summer vacation or you're celebrating winter vacation as well. Or depending on what part of the globe you're going to, you're either going to warm weather or you're going to colder weather. So what are some things that you can do? Because yes, while summer tends to be just slightly less busy, we do need to start getting into the frame of mind that quarter three is quickly on our heels. So it will be here much sooner than you probably think it will be. Not only that, so quarter three is July, August, September. I like to call this a really good like hibernation-ish period, meaning that instead of like a bear, we're not like going to go to sleep. We need to be preparing different things. So now I'm going to go biblical because now it makes me think about Noah just getting ready, getting all the animals, getting all the food that they need to go on the ark. So we're making our preparations for whatever it is. because come quarter 4, holiday festive season, we are all going to be busy. We're going to be busy personally because there's lots of fall festivals that happen. Personally, it is my favorite time of year, quarter 4, where we have Halloween, we have Thanksgiving. I celebrate Christmas, but I know many others celebrate Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Festivus, whatever it is. Somebody is celebrating something. There's also Diwali that happens a little bit earlier in the fall season as well. I'm not sure if it lands in quarter 3 or quarter 4, but it is towards this season. So not are we just busy with all those events happening, people are starting to think about travel. And if they already haven't booked their holiday travel, they're definitely thinking, oh my gosh, I need to get something on the books, or some sort of life circumstances happened and I just want to get away for the season. I don't want to be near anybody, or I want to be near all my family. Again, like, everybody has their own things. And so what we need to be doing now, June through September-ish, is preparing for this kind of wave that's going to hit us back. And the things that you do now are also going to make the beginning of 2025 easier. I know some of you are kind of like, we're already starting to think about 2025. Oh, yes. I don't know if I've shared on the podcast, but there's already like been some ideas that I've had that I was like, I need to save that for 2025 because 2024 is still raring to go with a lot of things that are happening. So let's make our little checklist. And I don't know if you want to write these down. If you want me to like put these in some sort of PDF or a Google Doc that you can like just start checking off, let me know. Maybe I might create that if I get enough interest on that. But the first thing that I have on this summer checklist of things that you can be doing right now is really, and I know you might be like, oh, why do you have to say that, Rita? It is checking and reviewing any task lists that you have, any workflows that you have, and any email automations. So it's interesting because at this point, many of you know that I am still an active travel advisor. I just do it on a much smaller scale because I am so committed and really passionate about this education and mentorship side. So I am not as focused on, per se, my travel agency workflows and setup, but a lot of like the educational products that I have, I've started looking at and have already identified like either content that needs to be updated or content that needs to be created. So what inside of your travel agency, and this can be a travel agency, maybe you're a tour operator, maybe you're a travel coach, maybe you're a travel blogger, wherever you kind of like fall in the travel spectrum. What are those task lists? What are those workflows? Possibly it's email automations that have to be updated. Maybe you need to do a review of your welcome email sequence when somebody downloads a lead magnet. Maybe you need to review your lead magnet. Is your lead magnet working for you? Maybe you can make some tweaks to your lead magnet. Maybe you create a whole new lead magnet. So this is really like we're getting to work in our business and not necessarily, no, sorry, I always forget those two. We're working on our business and not necessarily in our business, because in our business is planning those trips. On our business is making sure that all like the entrepreneurial things are being taken care of. And so this could also be the perfect time, like maybe you do have a couple straggling trips here and there where you can start documenting your processes. When someone comes to me, then I send them an invoice, an agreement, they sign this, then I get to planning. I always check XYZ if I'm planning a cruise. I always check XYZ if I'm planning a trip to Italy or wherever it might be. There's certain things that you always do. Maybe you already have your task list and your workflows written out. Maybe all you really simply need to do is just audit those and just see, like, are you doing anything differently? Maybe you have purchased these workflows and task lists from amazing people like Tekin Travel Biz Boss, and you've never actually put them into Turn or Travel Joy or Travify. now is the time. This is your sign that you need to do that. So make sure that that is happening. We're gonna review like all these processes. So that is the first thing that is on our summer checklist. Second thing that is on your, or could be on your summer checklist, is reviewing your website. Is the copy on your website still accurate to when you created it? If you just created it in the past 6 months to a year, it probably is. Maybe you have a new lead magnet that you want to promo on your website. Maybe it is time that you do a copy refresh, and either you refresh it on your own or you start hiring out or researching for a copywriter to hire out. Emily Matris is a really great one within the travel industry, and so is Deanna Harris. Those are the two that kind of like come to the forefront as far as copywriters, specifically in the travel industry. Going along with your website, maybe it's your Google business profile that needs to be updated. And so I know around this time last year, I was hosting a Google workshop where we kind of like went over all of the services, all of the places that we serve, any products we have, like consultation services. So if you were with me last year, this was probably a really great time to update your Google business profile. Similarly, on your website, if you haven't already, I know many of you have probably changed platforms. So maybe you were using one CRM and now you're using a different CRM. If you go to your contact page, what is the form that you've embedded? Is it from your old CRM or your new CRM? So these are some of the things that you can update. Also, at the bottom of your website should be something like a copyright with a date. Does that date still say 2023? Because you should really update that to say 2024 right now and get that taken care of, especially as we're heading into like midway of the year. So really reviewing the copy on your website. That also takes me into like another point on this checklist, which is really updating your bios, like wherever you have your bios. That could be on your website, or that could be on social media channels, or that could also be updating any bios if you have any speaking engagements and opportunities. Is there something different? Can you make it a little bit concise? Kind of like same thing if you have slightly changed niches or people that you serve, or you used to do a lot of Europe FIT and now you're doing more luxury cruising. Do you have to update that in any of the copy that you have anywhere, especially when we're thinking about bios? I'm thinking Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, possibly even YouTube. That's another thing. Like, are the marketing assets that you have, so like on Facebook, you can have banner images, similarly on LinkedIn and on YouTube. So are those still accurate? Do you have to go back into your Canva and update those? Like, have you changed colors at all? Because I know Kristen just had her colors workshop. Do you have to update colors anywhere? Do you have to update your logos anywhere? Just make sure that your brand is as cohesive as possible, especially if things have changed in the past like 6 to 12 months. And then another thing that you can really do, since you have the time to do it now during the summer, is batching any marketing efforts. So as you'll see, I'll be mentioning a lot of most of these episodes I have been already pre-recording, especially for the summer series. I have pre-recording so that I get ahead on the summer game. I'm really hoping to take a week off in July, like a full week off, because I haven't had a full week off in Lord knows how long. And the way that that's going to happen is if I start working ahead now and prepping, so I have like less to think about when I like totally like say, okay, I'm on vacay mode, even if it's staycay mode and all that. So what are things, especially when we're thinking about like the end of the year, possibly even going to Q1, can you batch all of that content? Maybe you need to hire someone out to batch some of that content for you. Maybe, and by content, this can be like a weekly blog post. This can be articles on LinkedIn. Maybe if you're not pre-batching it, because that's a lot of content, like 6 months to 9 months worth of content. content, but maybe it is that you're just creating a plan. Like I have, and I'm going to be sharing what's on my podcast plan for the summer series, but I created this a couple weeks ago, so I already had a game plan. I'm like, okay, this is what's happening. This is the content that I'm putting out on the podcast. So what can you do to also prepare for when it comes to all that holiday season, so that you're not just posting on the fly or putting things out on the fly wherever is like your big macro content, whether it's blogging, podcasting, YouTube videos, and all that. Just prepare in advance. Maybe it's even that you're just buying certain like social media templates, making sure fonts are correct and colors are correct, and then you just update with the content whenever it is that you have time. But prepare now for whatever it is. Similarly, is there a certain promotion? Are you selling a certain group trip, and like maybe your trip is for January, maybe it's for February, whenever it might be, maybe it's for next summer. That is something that you need to make sure that you are constantly promoting. If you know that you want to take out some space for a Christmas market cruise in December of this year, and you want to kick off the promotion for July of this year, then you need to reverse engineer a little bit in making sure that now you're definitely planning some sort of promo to kick that off for July. And then what does your marketing plan look like to make sure that whatever spots that you want to sell, is that 5 cabins, is that 10 cabins, is that 20 cabins, that you're creating that marketing plan now, so that whenever that group trip leaves or whenever that space goes, you are not like scrambling to get it in there. Like this is, when I say we're hibernating, we're really preparing for the riches. Like I think of the cornucopia at Thanksgiving. Like we have to plant the seeds so that we can have an abundance of amazing, delicious produce, aka income coming in from all of the efforts that we've made throughout these next couple of months. So it is going to be extremely pivotal what you are doing now, so that your Q3, so that your Q4, and that you're setting up all the Qs of 2025 up for a successful year. So I don't want you to be sleeping in on this summer unless you have already done the work of doing preparation and you have intentionally planned to take the full summer off. But this is not a time to be slowing down. This is a time to be getting things in place so that people are like ready to be like, yes, sign me up. So this is the warm-up phase. And this is also the phase to make things easier for when an influx of business does come. You can be like, well, shoot, that's going to be so easy to hire somebody because I've already recorded videos. I already have SOPs written out. I already have task lists in file and all that. So you are doing future you a favor with all of this. So we've talked about workflows, email automations, reviewing your website, batching your marketing efforts, updating your bios. We've kind of talked about making your Q3, Q4 plans. And so this is something that I had actually started doing maybe a month ago. I have like this huge calendar and was just starting to plot out, okay, what are the programs that I normally put on in the fall? What are the ideas that I've been having for the fall? Like, where are certain things going to lie? Do I have partnerships with other people that I want to start collaborating with? So what are those Q3 and quarter plans for you? We were talking about fall festivals. Are your big Q3, Q4 plans visibility plans? Are you like wanting to like really get out and really network? Because this is the time where all of those like things are booming. Do you need to get tents? Do you need to order banners? Do you need to order tablecloth? Do you need to order flyers? Do you need to order postcards? Do you need to design all those things? Do you need to hire somebody to design all those things for you? So, there's and I want you to be prepared. And that's why I mention all these things. Like, I don't want you to go into Q3 and Q4 lackadaisical. Like, I want your holiday season, especially when you, like, I know for me it's very important. For you it may be less as important, but for those of us where holiday time and being able to spend family time and turn business off, it's very important to have all of these systems and things in place so that we can give ourselves that time off. This also starts making me think like this is incredibly important why charging professional fees, not only just to charge like a little bitty fee, and I'm not saying you have to charge an astronomical fee, but what I'm saying is that you need to do the planning on what kind of a fee is going to allow you to take vacation time also for when you want to be taking time off during the holidays, because we're all business owners here. Who's paying us vacation time? We're paying ourselves vacation time. There's no corporate entity behind here that's like, you did such a great job, I'm going to give you some vacation time. And how you factor that in is really through like professional fees. It is also like by looking at profitability and the products that you're selling. Maybe you're doing a deep dive right now and reevaluating a couple things, which we're going to hear a little bit in one of the episodes of the summer selling series. But making those Q3, Q4 plans. Maybe it's that you want to host a webinar and you want to be talking about the best Christmas markets to visit in December. Maybe it's that you want to be talking about like the top places to visit for Halloween this year. So start thinking, what is it that you want to sell? And like, really, this is almost like a midway point, a happy unbirthday for plan your year session that we do at the end of every year, close to the end of every year. It's kind of reevaluating that. For those of you that did attend Plan Your Year last year, how are your plans going? Are you on track? Are you ahead? Are you behind? And what can you do to, like, if you're behind or if you're on track, maybe to get a little further or to get back on track if you feel like you've fallen apart? You need to like really start thinking and evaluating so that, again, future you is set. Future you will so thank you. Like, I love setting things up for future me, and I love when past me has thought about me as well, which is part of why I'm batching a lot of things, because I know there's a lot of things on my mind right now. So if I can batch a lot of my content ahead of time, I'm in a great place. So that's making the plans. And then lastly, maybe you kind of like, you're either a newbie or you have some of these things in place, or there's been like something that you have been wanting to research. This is a really great time now also to be researching new destinations or new supplier partners. I've been hearing a lot of talk, especially with travel advisors, on how long it's taking for DMCs to answer or how inaccurate like quotes or itineraries come back. So they're just kind of doing it on your own. So this could also be like a really great time just to start connecting with people, and LinkedIn is going to be a really great way for you to connect with people who are in different destinations or possibly different suppliers, that you can learn from their products, see what their posts are, go on any of their webinars. They maybe might have a fam or two like coming up that you can join in on them. Research this, especially if you're wanting to do a little pivot, or if you're wanting to offer your clients more, or if you've heard your clients talking about a certain thing, you're like, I really need to investigate that. This summertime is going to be a perfect time for you to do that as well. So we're going to work on our checklists and workflows, our task lists. We're going to check over our email automations. We're going to review our website, possibly Google Business Profile. We're going to batch our marketing efforts. You're going to make Q3 and Q4 plans. You're going to update any bios that need to be updated, and you're going to be researching destinations and or possibly suppliers. What else do you think should be on this list, or what else is kind of like at the top of your summer checklist? Make sure to send me a text by clicking on that top link link in the show description because I would love to hear from you. And now, speaking of hearing from me, you're actually going to be hearing from I have 6 incredible speakers lined up for the summer selling series that is going to be starting next week. And so these are people that might be new to you. These might be people that you know and love within the travel industry. And really my goal with the summer selling series, personally, I needed to take, there's a lot going on personally, and it was just going to be so beneficial if I could plan a summer series where I could interview amazing people. And so personally, that's what I did. I needed to take some time off from doing strictly solo episodes for myself. And I feel like you all will benefit because my idea with the summer selling series is that I want you to sell more. I want you to be able to sell more. I want you to, whatever success means to you, I want to help close the gap on what that is. And so if there's been destinations that you've been eyeing or you haven't heard about, we are uncovering a lot of things from people who are experts. So I have Kate Thomas. You may know Kate from Travel Pro Theory. She also has her first business is as a DMC with North and Leisure, and she specializes in Ireland, Scotland, and we also talk a little bit about the English countryside in her episode. So if the UK has been of interest, I've got a really great episode for you there. Then I have Anna Yakiman from the Best of Cartagena. We are talking obviously about Cartagena and Colombia, and that was a really beautiful episode. Yes, some of these episodes I have already recorded because I was doing Future Me a favor. Then we have the amazing Lori Gold. If you're not already in her Facebook group, I'm sure she's going to mention it in her episode. And she's going to be talking all things about the Caribbean, Mexico. So the Riviera Maya, pretty much that area. If you are kind of stumped on selling Mexico, we're going to unstumpify it for you in that episode. And then we also have Christy. I haven't interviewed Christy yet at the time of this recording, so I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong, but I think her name is either Emo, but she specializes in Hawaii, and so she has a lot of resources to help you sell Hawaii, and so we're bringing her to help you sell Hawaii as well. And then really great kind of social media friend, Danielle Linares from, Absolutely Cuba. I was I think I forgot her name. Absolutely Cuba is the name of her company. And so she helps your travelers travel to Cuba, the ungoogleable Cuba. So I can't wait to dive in on that episode as well. And then last but definitely not least, we have ASTA's River Cruise Travel Advisor of the Year, Diane Frisch, and she's going to be talking about river cruises. And so we talk a lot about what the different brands are, but then also how to sell river cruises. And Diane gives real world experiences of how she went from selling just a handful, less than a handful of river cruises, to now she has sold over $700,000 and even more and beyond. So she's got a couple of groups that have dozens of people that are now going. And it started where she couldn't even fill a group before. So really big success story. I cannot wait for you to listen in on all of these episodes. So that's what's coming up on our summer selling series. And then after our summer selling series, we're going to have a little snippets episode because my final audio series of the year is going to be about alternative careers in travel. And I'm currently booking interviews at the time of this recording for that. So I don't know everybody that I've secured, but we're going to be talking about writing. We're going to be talking about blogging. We're going to be talking about influencing user-generated content, just all different ways that you can generate revenue that might not be directly through a travel agency or a tour operator. So we're going to dive in, especially if you're looking to diversify income, on additional ways that you can do that. So that is also coming soon. So huge, big sneak peek about what we have coming up in this summer season. I cannot wait for you all to be on this ride with me. And please, if you have any travel advisor friends who would benefit from the summer selling series or the alternative careers in travel audio series, make sure you invite them to subscribe to the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur podcast so that we can share and spread the wealth of all this amazing information that our speakers will be sharing this summer. All right, thanks for tuning in. I will see you next week with our first episode. Woo-hoo! Thanks for joining me on the podcast today. Remember to check out the show notes for all relevant links and resources from today's show. See you next time.